Time at the Apollo.
Yeah. It is. We are live. We are live. We're live. Oh, man. Uh, oh, yeah, there we are. Okay, cool. We are live. We're live. We're live.
Live.
Live, 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 live. We are live. I'm going to start sharing. Please share. Please share.
Do you believe in magic?
That's horrible. Kevin Corbelieves, my man. What's
You just
going
told me,
on?
please share.
I didn't say please do share.
I got confused for a minute.
Thank you. Because then I'd have to bust into Sonny Bono, and nobody wants that.
Actually, yeah, that's awesome.
He said, "Defend the man." Then I sound more like Bob Dylan when I do him.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh man, so how you guys doing tonight?
Very good.
It's actually not nighttime for me.
I'm sorry. How you doing this morning?
Getting closer.
What is it, like 2 in the afternoon?
Hold on. 1:30. Close enough. And I got my my building here. They're working on the pool, and we're right below the pool, so that's that annoying fucking noise.
Nice. I was wondering what that was. I thought maybe that you had some sort of vibrating device in the background.
No.
Listen, I'm really excited that Chris,
Kevin
Cigar Prop. I'm really excited that Chris was able to join us tonight on the Stogie Road Diaries.
I love Chris, and Chris was on my show last night, and he was awesome. Yeah, he was awesome.
God, yeah. Devin loves meeting that guy. He really knows his stuff. I appreciate anybody that can distill or whatever you call the version of making wine and brew. I have a lot of respect for people that have that kind of passion for my kind of hobby, which is drinking.
Yeah,
that was. I was tired last night. I was out cold early last night, unfortunately. So, but no, it's really exciting that you're here. What's up, Devin? Just hopped on. We're just talking about you, Devin. Nothing but good things.
Yo,
Trust
Devin,
me.
How are you, baby?
We got Ronnie saying hello to Lars.
Nice.
You say hello. Gotta say hi to Chris too, Ronnie.
How are you, baby?
Well, I'm smoking a really good cigar right now.
Is it a Stogie Road cigar?
No.
Oh, do tell. I can't see anything. My God, this phone screen is so damn
It's
small.
a cigar with a plain white band with some wording on it.
Well, what is it?
Oh.
Happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Kerr. I didn't know it was your birthday.
It's not my birthday.
Oh, all right. Easily confused. I apologize.
So this is a fantastic cigar, by the way.
Is that the faded?
Yes.
Oh,
wow.
So we're super stoked about that one.
Hey, Lori, I'm gonna have
to
stoked because I'm on the podcast right now.
Wow.
I'll talk to you in a little bit.
It is awesome.
How many have you had so far?
Robert Brown, what's going on, bro? My man. Yes, sir.
Yeah, baby.
How many have I had?
I'll say
a couple.
A couple.
Dude, I gotta be honest with you. They're addicting.
I appreciate that. I mean,
they're addicting.
For our 10-year, I mean, we haven't officially announced it yet. Joe, Rick, and myself are going to make that announcement in the very, very near future. We're just working on the wording right now, but I wanted to do Cameroon for the 10-year. And then we got our hands on some beautiful, beautiful Cameroon.
Killed it.
Killed it. That's probably the blend you have there is probably the, let's say the 13th or 14th iteration of our tests. And then that's the culmination of many since last year, we've been trying to see what the blend tastes like, what's it taste like with time on it. It's just, I'm happy about that one.
Well, you knocked it out of the ballpark, bro. I mean, it's really, it is a fantastic flavor. And that's actually what I wanted to talk about tonight a little bit, is about tobacco tobacco. Kevin Shahan, what's up, bro?
Kevin, the cigar prop man.
And hey, Kevin Shahan, if you want to hop on, Kev, let me know. I'll send you a link. So, talking about tobacco, construction, consistency. But I think the main thing is when it comes to tobacco is this came. Daryl had and I messaged back and forth. My buddy Daryl Iverson was asking me about like the Stogie Road cigars to talk about them. But I think you could actually have this conversation in general about tobacco and cigars, right? Because it's the process should be pretty consistent and the same. But there are some specifics that he has. He has some questions that Kevin's going to produce on the back end. That he does have some questions about Candela. Lars is excited to hear that. So before we get started, we got to have our intro. 5, 4, 3.
But there's still cocaine on the counter. A golden monkey in my hand while you encounter the demons that are filling on my brain. I feel like I'm going insane. I'm breathing fire, heavy raging your desire. I'm over here trying to build an empire. Don't you know that me and you are not the same? I feel like I'm Kurt Cobain, yeah. I feel like I'm Kurt Cobain, yeah. Venom pumping through my veins, yeah. Craziness all in my brain. Oh, I feel like I'm Kurt Cobain, yeah. I feel like I'm Kurt Cobain. Venom pumping through my veins, yeah. Craziness all in my brain. Oh, I feel like I'm Kurt Cobain, yeah. Rockstar, yeah. I'm just living my life each day. Don't get mad at me because I'm magical. Don't get mad.
Hola, brothers and sisters of the Leaf. Welcome to Stogie Road Diaries. This is Kerr joining you this fine Thursday evening. I am here with my incredibly awesome, sexy, the backdoor man himself, Lars, the world champion of art, Tetens. We have a special guest tonight. He has no fancy taglines, just sauce. His name is Chris. Chris Weber. What's going on, Chris?
Not much. How are you guys doing this evening?
Awesome.
Well, your evening, my afternoon.
Hey, Chris, can you go ahead and show the viewers what you're looking at?
Oh,
Kevin,
sure, yeah.
Kevin's trying to look through your glasses. I'm sorry, Caitlin. I'm an idiot. I know. I should have a comment for my name.
Well, I just got to turn my phone around. So, yeah, I live in Waikiki, so I'm looking at the Alawai. They're prepping for their boat race, their skull practicing this afternoon, and I got the beach right over there. That's the Hawaii 5-0 building, the Grand Waikiki. So, thank God that show's over. Yeah. We don't have to deal with the traffic jam anymore.
How's that, Kevin? Is that better? Is my microphone a little bit higher now? Let me know if that is better, my friend. Kevin was telling me my microphone's a little low. Perfect. Thank you. All righty, man. So, listen. I first of all, it's really great to have Chris with us.
I know, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's always fun and educational.
It's a pleasure having.
I tried to keep it loose.
So we got to have Chris take a seat, drink his scotch, cut his cigar, and sit down and talk a little bit about tobacco.
Let's do it.
While you get settled in there, Chris, I know we've talked about it before, but Lars, you've been You've been doing this since 1908. So, when the donkeys would come pulling in their carts with the tobacco. When you, I know that we heard the story. I know the story about, that you use Lajero when people were using Lajero for
compost
and stuff,
burning and whatever.
But I do want to ask you this because we never really got into it. Have you worked with Candela in the past?
Yes. I thought I told you that.
You touched on it. You kind of got on, got off. It was like,
Yeah. So when
that's what she said. You got on, got off. I was not satisfied.
Happy birthday. Yeah, I did back in the early '80s. I just was trying to replicate the old-fashioned cigars. So it was like small cigars. They were like maybe anywhere from a 4 to a 5.5, 6 by a 42 or 44.
Yeah, they weren't big ring gauges back in the day.
No, that's what I was rolling with Candela because I just wanted to roll some stuff that was kind of like old school, old-fashioned cigars. I just thought it would be neat, even if nobody liked them, and nobody liked them except me. But What
do you think? How did you like Candela?
I like it, and I like the Candela, and then also I used Lajero with the Candela. Made a very strong, spicy cigar with that, and now people would probably like it, but back then people didn't really like it.
Something you need to look into, Lars.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. I got Shahan and me. We're big Candela fans.
I am about to smoke one of my old vintage.
Nice.
With a little raggedy ass tail.
Very cool.
Raggedy ass foot. Exactly. A little foot, a little tail.
So Chris, I had somebody ask me today.
Yeah, this is Chris. This is like this cigar is probably, I don't know, over 30 years old.
Almost as old as me. Damn.
Yeah, almost.
It was legal before I was.
It was legal before you were.
Yeah, but sorry.
So I had somebody ask me a question today, and I've had them ask me this before because now the Stogie Road cigars have been out now for several weeks.
Hey, Ken.
Right? Pippin. Listen, Caitlin, you're absolutely right. I'm going to come visit you, Caitlin. I still got to check you out. So the Stogie Road cigars have been out now for just under a month, and the feedback's been fantastic. It really has been.
Very happy to hear that for you.
I mean, no. Well, listen. I mean, your partnership and the conversations and how we came up with these blends is fantastic. The factory. The one question I get a lot of is Candela. Like, how did you get it? Like, what when it comes to Candela, and this is the big question was, how is it produced when it comes to the picking of the leaves, to the fermentation, and what makes it that vibrant green? Because if I showed you pictures, of some of the green, I mean, the pictures of the Candela themselves just pop. This green is fucking out of this world. And the flavor profile is incredible too. So what is that fermentation process for the Candela leaf, and what makes this Candela so vibrant? That's for you, Daryl. What's up, buddy?
Figures you'd ask the one question I don't have an answer to. Because we actually got that for you from Nestor. And he did it as a favor to me, or not to me, more to my blender, Omar Rodriguez. And I am embarrassed to say I don't have a good answer for you. That Lars probably has a better answer than I do, which is none at all. But whatever Nestor's process for fermentation is, I mean, my God, Plasencia, what can you say about them other than, I mean, world's largest, if not one of the largest, premium tobacco farming enterprises, grows, produces, ferments, sells, and produces with some of the best tobacco out there, high quality. Whatever he's doing something right. But unfortunately, I apologize. I'm a little bit ignorant to the answer to
That's
to your
fine.
query.
Lars?
You know, I never did farming, so I don't know.
Chris, that was the best you should have. I don't know. I'll do fucking farming, man. I just get the shit.
I'm not a fucking farmer.
Well, I do know with Candela, it is the fermentation process, I believe, is stopped early on in order for it to keep the chlorophyll in the leaves. But you're still able to get the that nasty ammonia flavor out. Again, I'm no freaking
The longer
farmer.
that I've noticed, the longer that the tobacco ages, the more pungent the aroma can get. So when you're walking through either a prep area or we call them bodegas, warehouse, where you're storing tobacco, aging tobacco, or if you're aging them in pilones, it's noticeable when you walk into the room. If you've got a problem, you know, with strong aromas, it's me personally, tops 30 seconds before I got to leave the room. So the Candela is more than likely pulled before that process starts. So yeah, to your point, it doesn't have a lot of that ammonia that is just natural in tobacco anyways.
Well, that's the thing. Just tobacco in general, it's one of the best things, you know, that we talk about with the regulations is that the fermentation process does, you know, remove the ammonia. It's the reason why when you get a cigar and it has that ammonia flavor to it, the fermentation process, young tobacco. We have all had those cigars. I mean, hell, I've had a couple that literally. I smoked and took 3 puffs off of it, and it gave me a massive headache.
Yeah, stuff that hasn't quite sat long enough, or for one reason or another, or maybe even some part of the tobacco. Maybe it's the wrapper, or maybe it's the filler. More than likely, it's the filler that hasn't had enough time. And yeah, it gets you a little bit wonky.
No, I mean, and that's the thing is with that fermentation process, and yeah, and what's up, Joseph Genovese, YA Barrett Clothing? What's up, buddy? So, hold on. I think Terrell's, yes, I said the cigar aficionado for future reference, but I definitely know that fermentation process for Candela tobacco is done quickly. And it's done quickly in order to get that desired result of the fermentation, but without losing the chlorophyll, which keeps it green. You know, obviously everybody's going to have their own tricks and trade, but I know that the Candela that we use on the Gringo and for the Sandela is just so incredibly vibrant. And the flavor profile is something like I've never tasted before. Yep, fast and hot, Daryl, just like you, baby. It's, you know, you got to keep up the heat, make it fast, and bing, bang, boom. You're good to go. What's up, Mike? Oh, Pookie. So,
Pizza.
yeah, I know, right? So as we're talking about the tobacco, Chris, you had mentioned up front, you know, the quality tobacco. You know, one of the things that I've been getting, the feedback I've been getting the most is that, you know, these flavors are just out of this world. The flavor of this is out of this world. It really is. It does.
Yeah.
The faded that you make for your brand, the Gringo is definitely sweet and spicy. It's incredible.
Oh, yes.
So
Gringo is beautiful.
It is. And Daryl told me today or the other day that his favorite's the Sandela. He said it's a game changer.
Good.
So
that's actually probably I'm going back and forth between Big Tony and Sandela.
Yeah.
Personally, I mean, the mixture is great, but Maduro and Maduro, for me, you can't go wrong.
Mm-hmm. No, most definitely. And there's Pizza Mike. Thank you. So, Kevin, question.
How far barber poles go back?
Well, Kevin, I can answer that question. I think back in the 1700s, the barbers used to also be medicine doctors. So they used to use the colors, the red, the white, and the blue, in order to let people know what they did. And if they saw red, that meant they would bleed people with leeches. I think he means barber pole cigar.
Or is that?
No, that's true. Yeah,
it is.
That's really amazing. I never knew that. That's
What's the blue?
Huh?
What would blue represent?
You get your hair cut while you're fucking getting bled like leeches.
While you're getting a fresh leeching.
It was a local dentist and the barber, and not medicine. No, Kevin, it was medicine too. They did medicine. They would bleed people. Do your research. I know Kevin's Googling it right now.
White is when they've taken all your blood, and that's all that's left.
I think so.
Damn.
But how? What do you know the history of barber pole cigars?
Me personally, not much. We started it with 3 blends. So for us, it went back as far as 20. Oh God, when did 3 blends come out? 13, 14, or 15. But how far back they go as an actual mainstream production? My God. I think I was reading something about one of the ones Kurt Kendall has at 724, because he was bringing back a lot of the older names, and it goes back to at least the original date of that one. At least I forget the name of it. I apologize, Kurt.
Was that before the Fuentes came out with the barber pole in the 90s?
Huh. I don't know. Lars.
I remember.
I mean, I saw barber poles, and since I was when I started rolling cigars, guys who were teaching me were already rolling barber poles.
And I was told, and I learned, and I also read as well, in 3 forms of checking up, that the barber poles were really came about from not wanting to waste tobacco. So if there were strips of tobacco left over, you didn't have enough to roll a cigar with 1 leaf. You would put 2 together or 3 and roll them together so you would not waste the tobacco.
That's a great story. I really have no idea whether that's true or not.
It sounds like it definitely could be true.
Yeah, it could definitely be true. But I remember when the very first barber poles I ever did was I was doing semi-box press cigars, and I did them with semi-box press. I didn't even do a round cigar for a barber pole. The first time I ever did the things were semi-box press cigars.
And Kevin is still going on our lessons of the actual barber's pole, which had brass balls on the top.
I'll say.
Is he copying and pasting from Wikipedia?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yes. Hello,
informative.
Cynthia. Thank you very much for joining us. And I was saying is the Hemingway Between the Lines by Fuente. Fantastic barber pole. Very, for me, one of the inspirational cigars with barber poles. And the Candela that the Fuente makes, the 858, that was actually one of my go-to Candelas that inspired the Sweetgrass Gringo. Just because I love that cigar. It is just out of this world.
Something very special about a good Candela cigar. I've never had the one you were mentioning, but I've had Illusion. Camacho, way back in the day, had really, really good Candela that I enjoyed. It was gifted to me. I couldn't tell you for the life of me which one it was. My friend John gave it to me on the day of my son's christening. But if done wrong, it can go wrong. If done correctly, it can be a very pleasant experience.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I've I've actually sent Kevin a couple Candelas that were I got that were funny. What's up, Jeffrey Amendola Cigar Cabin? What's up, buddy? Dez. But the The Candela, like you said, I've had the Illusion. I've had the Romacraft. Oh God, I've had the Camacho.
Lizona's got one. Espinosa, the
Espinosa,
wasabi.
the wasabi.
Yeah.
I think the first Candela I ever smoked, it wasn't even mine. It was, I think it was, if my memory serves me correctly, which it may not because, I'm old, but I think it was a Macanudo. It tasted like newspaper, but it was like a Macanudo that had a bright Candela wrapper.
Wow.
Just not a barber pole, just solid Candela.
Yeah. I mean, but what's funny is, and I've had a couple other Candelas after that, and I mean, everyone has their own little unique flavor, and I really think I think that Romacraft really produced a hell of a fantastic barber pole. But if you just want something that is just going to be, when I think of Fuente Friday,
yes,
I'm thinking of the Fuente 858, the Candela. That thing is just celebration written all over it.
Yeah, Cynthia's right. That Candela is a great Candela.
Oh my God, it's freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, Fuente has a great 858 Candela.
I got to tell you, but that is, like I said, there's a lot out there who've done a great job with Candela, and I love them. But that's always the one that's my go-to, and was the flavor, the sweetness and the creaminess of that cigar, and that grassy note was one of the inspirations to the Gringo. I wanted to have something like that, but I wanted to have a barber pole using a Candela and a Connecticut with spice to it. So Chris.
Yeah, sure.
Let's talk about the before they come get you and lock you up and take you away.
Seriously, I apologize for the constant goings-ons of the EMS community in Waikiki Beach.
Is that Dog the Bounty Hunter?
I would hope so. That'd be better than what the reality is. Reality is it's like all through the night, even until 2 a.m, because I don't have air conditioning, so I have to leave. Like I'm on the top floor, so I have the entire half of the top floor. So I leave my doors open at night to get a cross breeze coming through. But if there's even over there towards Manoa, which is where the university is, it's all coming down the mountains. So I'm in this, and then it doesn't go out to the ocean because I got all these damn buildings here. So it just echoes in between all the condos and the hotels. I apologize.
No, it's okay.
That's a real Hawaii for you, though. This is what Hawaii is really like.
It sounds delicious, Cynthia. Goodness gracious. Look at Kevin. Fuente Friday and Sandela Sunday are his 2 best days of the week.
Sweet.
Cigar manufacturer. We've had this discussion. You were talking this before we hopped on. About the factory, the Tabacalera Nuevo Nica. What makes what you're doing? I don't want to say different or special, but what is it that you're putting out that you feel is the magic or what it is from the factory that is able to produce the cigars that you are?
For me, I don't know. To say that it was secret or unique or exclusive to us, there's a lot of people that follow similar formulas or the same formula, and if anything, I'm more emulating certain factories I've always looked up to. But for us, it's consistent use of the same materials to the best of our ability. We source from the same location all the time. Once you find something that you like, there's no need to change it. If it's working, it's like the old adage: if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
So we adhere to that as best as within our abilities. I mean, sometimes you don't have an option. Sometimes a crop is a lower yield, or somebody else comes in and buys all of it as opposed to just the percentages that we would buy. That's part of it. It's using the same techniques all the time. For me personally, it's not to say that money's not an issue. It's not for me personally. So if we have to It's not cutting corners. It's not changing the way that we'll produce something simply because our yield goes up.
Yeah.
So for instance, on barber poles, and we had this discussion, I think, a few months back when I was still in Nicaragua, and the way that we roll the barber pole. I mean, for us, I don't like to say one way is right, one way is wrong. The way that we view correct is rolling both leaves at the same time rather than putting down a base coat and essentially an accent stripe. To use.
Yeah, it's not a barber pole.
For me, that's not a barber pole.
That's somebody who's cheating. I'm not saying anybody's name.
Yeah, no, I mean that's
But for us,
We're not
it's
going
like
to mention it.
and
we
that's
have
and,
our process, and that's our process. We found success with that really with free blends. Free blends, by and large, our best seller. Part of it's the construction, part of it's the profile, part of it's the flavor. A big part of it's the consistency, and consistency is the last thing I would say to answer your question. Sometimes you got to change farms. Sometimes it comes down to yield, but it's the same tobacco from the same region. So it's not like we're going to a less reputable farmer because the cost is lower. We still stay within the same grades of tobacco, but being able to consistently do your process the same way, repetitively. I mean, it's funny. It goes hand in hand with Einstein's definition of insanity. Well, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Right. That can be positive and negative, rather than insane. If your process is working, there's no need to change it. There's no need to change the ingredients. I mean, if you're making a good pasta sauce, don't add more salt. Don't screw it up. Why would you edit it? So for us, it's that once we hit the nail, and for like yourself as a client, as a customer, or as we'd like to call it, a part of our factory family, once you say that's it, that's all it's ever going to be, unless you tell me you want to change it.
Right.
And if that happens, then we address that and we make a tweak here or there. But we generally don't go to market with your blend until you're ready to say that's what I want. Right. And that's how we'll make it every time.
You know what? I think that the cigars that have just the accent stripes that don't really use the leaves, we really should call those, instead of barber poles, we should call those like G Money stripes.
Listen, what's funny is
no, it's the G Money stripes.
What's funny about that is
more money, more money, more money.
What's funny about that is when people ask me why barber poles, it's for me, it was the appreciation of having the two wrappers and getting the flavor from the two wrappers. That's what makes it unique. That's why it's different. That's why, I mean, it's an eye catcher in the humidor. When you walk in and you see between the lines in that beautiful wooden box, you'll stop and take notice. And I wanted it to be something that wasn't a gitchy, a St. Patty's Day or, a special occasion. It needed to be a very good, solid, true barber pole that you appreciate both of the wrappers. Other than that, it's call it what it is. Then, like Devin said, it's a cigar spinner. It's a freaking, it's a pinstripe. It's dressing, on a cigar. So
I was actually very impressed when we first had our initial conversations. I mean, our first conversation was almost an hour and 45 minutes of absolute nonsense.
Yeah, but, no cigars.
Yeah. It's like talk about cigars for 5 minutes. Like, holy shit, you're from Delaware? Yeah, I'm from Delaware. You know this? Yeah. It's weird when you meet two people that have spent
too much time in Delaware.
Too much time in Delaware. You get really excited about ordinary stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like California where you're like, Delaware, Capriati's? Yeah. And then Capriati's is a 45-minute conversation.
Seriously, there's one of two sandwich shops in Delaware that aren't Subway. And you can only talk about two. Whereas Cali's probably got at least 70 different chains. But,
right.
Not even including Subways. But when we were talking barber pole, like, you had a very good understanding my view on barber pole, and it was my fear when we first were blending 3 blends, was, all right, so there's the adage that, wrapper is only responsible for, 10, 20% of the flavor. Some people say more, some people say less, but when you're adding another component, which the wrapper is, it's more than just cosmetic. It can mask certain flavors. If you're using a very heavy wrapper, it can mask some very specific inarticulate fillers that you might be using. So I won't say there's a science to it. I just think it's a little bit more challenging to blend a good barber pole.
Right. What were we going to say, Lars?
Yeah, no, I've always liked the flavor of 2 wrappers because, like, if the people are really into it, they know what I'm talking about. Lil Gotti and Lil Key, they're brothers.
Right. But
Great flavor with wrapping.
Flav. But you know what? It's funny is that conversation of what percentage of the flavor does the wrapper make up, right?
Oh.
Now I'll throw this out to you because maybe I'm just a little crazy on that. If the flavor of the wrapper did not make up the majority of the flavor, or if it does, would not a Candela cigar be the truth serum to that? Like, wouldn't that be, proof that the evidential proof that the wrapper does have a big influence on the flavor of a cigar?
I would think it would. My take on this, and Lars's might be different, but when they say the wrapper is a certain percentage,
Thank you.
And I'm by no means a genius or an expert, but in my
Nor
opinion,
are you a gynecologist.
Yeah.
Thank God. That could be a dirty job, depending on who your patients are.
Hello.
But when I think the filler really is what makes up that percentage. If you have very weak fillers, very weak binders, well, then wrapper becomes a larger component of the flavor. If you have very strong fillers and a very weak wrapper, like a lighter kinetic edge, but very, very strong filler, then obviously it's less. So
Right.
You don't really know the percentage until the end of what you're trying to accomplish. So, like when we were working with your cigar, the wrappers do come into play, and you can notice it.
Oh yeah.
And they almost mirror each other, and in some places contrast.
True story,
each other.
Daryl.
Yep.
And all in a positive way.
Yes. No, most definitely. My proctologist drives a probe.
Yeah, I the other day was at my proctologist. He was like, this isn't going to hurt very much. Just bend over the table. And I said, Doc, why are both your hands on my shoulders? And do I have to pay you or are you paying me?
That's funny. Like George Carlin said, there's nothing worse than a proctologist with poor depth perception.
Miss you, George.
Oh my God, that's good. That's brilliant.
That's pretty interesting. And like you said, I mean, there's nothing special. It's not the special sauce or anything. I mean, it's just good tobacco, consistent. Like you said, getting the tobacco from the consistent folks, and my thing has always been construction. I don't care how great your blend is. If the construction sucks, you're not going to be able to appreciate the blend. So great tobacco, great construction, consistency, and putting out what you say you're putting out. Right? I mean,
we try to keep the marketing aspect of it out as much as possible. I'm not saying that some people do say one thing or another. Some people do. Some people might not. Maybe they don't. But yeah, consistency is the biggest key. Whether you're consistently good or consistently bad, consistency is a quality that any great factory has. I mean, from the Fuente factory to which is consistently good, all the way down to some of the smaller guys. You mentioned Roma Craft. I mean, name something you don't like by what Skip and Mike and Esteban are putting out. I couldn't tell you one. I like it all.
And they're consistent, man. Just consistent. The construction, the flavor is just
And the fact that
Phenomenal.
occasionally they get hit with certain back orders, I know they don't do it on. I would assume that they don't do it on purpose, but they don't want to sacrifice to push it out.
Right.
That's good. People
Right.
are willing to wait. That shows how good it is.
Right. No, most definitely. Most definitely. Yeah, Caitlin. Caitlin says that her and Lars get along great.
Yeah,
Caitlin's
baby.
fantastic.
You know it.
Caitlin built the humidor in the Wine Express in Simpsonville.
Wow.
Now, you know, wine or what is that? What's the big wine store? The freaking Total Wine.
Oh,
Total Wines have humidors now, right? You go in there, they have a humidor.
do.
It's
Some of them have massive walk-ins.
Yeah,
massive. No, they do. They do. Massive walk-ins, your usual suspects. So Caitlin built this humidor in Wine, etc., or Wine Express, and it's fantastic. I mean, incredible. The humidor that she built there. It has your standard brands, boutiques, and she literally just every single nook and cranny, anywhere you can get a cigar in there, she gets it. And I love visiting there. I really do. It's very, very, very impressive. The selection that she's put together, and that was her putting that together.
That's awesome, Caitlin.
Yeah, she's an incredible tobacconist, an incredible person. I've had her on the show a couple times. Her and her wife Kara came here. We had a blast. She brought over the Wine Express special rye they made, and the projected 1 hour show 3 hours later and 3 sloppy drunks. It was it was a blast. I mean, we had such a fantastic time, man. It was we got to have her back on the show again, but I got to get over there. She's a big supporter of this of Stogie Road cigars too.
Hooray.
And yeah, she's
Did
awesome.
she physically build the humidor?
Knob Creek Rye. There you go. I don't know. I don't think she physically built it, but the interior, the product inside there,
Okay.
she's the one who hand selected and makes the decisions of what goes in there, and it's brilliant.
I was gonna say if she physically built it, I want to build one in my house here and fly her out to do it. I have nobody on island that knows how to build a humidor.
Oh wait, fly. So listen, I built her humidor. I'm the one who physically built it.
Okay.
You can just
Funny
fly
how
me
the
out to
story
Hawaii. It'll be great. She designed it. Caitlin, listen, they'll fly you out because you designed it. They'll fly me out. I built it. And Lars, they'll fly him out just because he's Lars.
Lars probably has his own plane somewhere, so he can fly himself out.
That's one thing I never. Everyone, when I was a young kid, we had like our own airport, our own fleet of planes, helicopters, all that shit. But I knew better than to ever have my own. No yachts, no planes. That's like, kind of like pussy. You always want a friend with one, but you don't want to own it.
Yeah, I've always been told that
Boats and hoes?
Boats
The,
and house, boats and house.
either charter services or if you're getting into like Wheels Up or NetJets or something like that, so much better than actually having their own plane.
Caitlin, how being a lesbian did
I-
Jesus give you your carpentry skills?
Well, because Jesus was a carpenter, so he trained her.
Well, I know, but she's
And maybe-
making that.
Jesus was pro-lesbian.
But no, but she's saying that Jesus had given her the carpentry skills because I'm just trying to feel I'm trying to find the connection there, or if there's a punchline there, because I think I know the punchline, but come on, Caitlin, don't put me on a spot like this.
Still up
I
there.
want to hear the punchline.
It's flannel and lesbian joke. Oh, okay. I thought that you were a good carpenter because you're lesbian because everything was tongue and groove.
Oh, yes, that is the one. I forgot about that.
That was like
Damn.
Caitlin's gonna lock the door next time she sees me. She knows
That's
I
what
love her.
my girlfriend told me that before.
You had, Liz.
But hey, listen, my girlfriend sometimes calls me a fat lesbian because I have bigger tits than most of the girls.
That's good to know, Lars.
Yeah.
Again, stuff we need to know. It's things we do not need to know about Lars, but unfortunately we do.
crazy.
So what's your? Let me ask you. Ron Brown announced that he's going to be working out of the factory.
Oh, he did. Oh, good. I was keeping that secret until he was ready to say it.
Well, he did.
Okay.
He did.
I don't really go online or social media that much. I don't know. I find it boring. I understand its importance, but no, Ron's good people. I'm very stoked to be able to work with him. I mean,
exactly.
just how he wanted to actually do it was, I think he listened a lot. I mean, I gave some what I thought might be some good ways to go. He liked it.
Right.
And the big thing is, like, I don't recall if he was also a 10 count box guy, but going to 20 count boxes, simple things like changing that up. But the Sumatra that we blended for him, or I say we, I had zero part in the blending. That's all Omar and my other blender. But oh baby, delicious.
I smoked
Absolutely,
that.
It was. Delicious.
I smoked sample. He showed up here. I smoked sample. And I was like, "Hey, Ron, I don't know why Chris only sent you 2 samples of each. He's supposed to send me 10." I was like, "You know what I mean."
Yeah. Apparently, 8 got lost lost along the way, or something like that. But no, well more than 2. And I always like to send out at least 5. Generally, 5 is the magic number. 5's enough to see consistency, and not so much that you would overthink it. Because something I've found, even when like for Faded, we were smoking
I got you, Kev.
our blends over and over again, and what I find is redundancy, but with redundancy, meaning the more I smoke it, the more I overanalyze it. And and maybe you see some things or taste some things that aren't there. So I like to keep the magic number at 5, so it doesn't overcomplicate it for the normal mind. But that Sumatra was beautiful. Speaking of barber poles, we did a very, very nice barber pole. I think he's going to be moving on with it's Cameroon and Araparaca.
We lost Chris.
Okay.
Yes, Daryl, I'm sorry. They were not mine to give away, so that's why they didn't make their way up to or down to Anderson. Kevin, I'm going to get to your question as soon as we could get Chris back. Oh, here he is. All right, he's back again.
Apparently, wherever I go, my internet sucks.
There you go. I was going to say, you can't blame Nicaragua this time.
Exactly. But yeah, his barber pole will be amazing as well. So I'm very, very excited to work with him. Plus, he's a music guy. I love music. I like how he's going to start to incorporate some of the music into design and things like that. So
Ron's a great guy too, and I said this. I was on Shirtless Mike's show, the Herf Zone, and I said, you know what? I'm glad you're working with him. Mike is really. I will definitely hit you up, Caitlin. Thank you very much. Love you. What's up, Lenny DeTomo, my man? Lars, remember I told you I was down in South Philly and visited Renzuli's place?
Yes.
That's who took me there, right there, my buddy Lenny DeTomo from Philly.
Really?
Went to college and played football. Lenny's a great guy.
Did you eat at
right next door?
Restaurant?
Yep.
Yeah. Delicious food.
Oh my God, we had a blast. It was awesome, man. It was literally awesome.
For the life of me, like he ordered when we were in there, he took a sandwich order from one of the local sandwich shops, and of course, Delaware, Philly area sandwiches are a different ball game in that area. It's a real sandwich.
Yeah,
and he wouldn't even let me buy. Like I had my wallet out, I had the card. He's like, "No, cuz I got this." And I was like, "Oh man, very hospitable, great local shop in a very nice area."
That is literally if you want the feel for Philly, go to his shop.
Mm-hmm.
Stand on the street corner outside smoking a cigar. That is like if Rocky was ever made in a cigar bar, that would be it.
It would completely be there.
If Rocky was ever made into a cigar movie, that would be it. So Kevin Shahan asked a question, and if I don't ask him, he's going to get all mad. He wants to know, Chris, what was that cigar that made you want to get into the cigar world? Not your first cigar, but what was that one game-changing, life-altering cigar?
I have the dumbest response to this question.
Can't be
Believe
dumber
it or
than a
not.
Candela answer, but go ahead.
No,
Be
it's
dumber
not.
than anything I
It's
said.
not that good. I wish it was that illustrious. I had a roommate in. I went to a boarding school for high school in southeastern
Lenny.
Pennsylvania, and Rob Caden was my roommate's name, and he introduced me to cigars. I'd always been around them. The guys at our church group, whenever we would get out or golf or get together, and I would always see them smoking. They'd always offer me cigars. So it's a cigar that kind of stood out for me before I'd ever made anything or even thought of making anything. But I don't know if you remember when Cohiba actually had those crystal tubes. They were made out of glass. They were called the Cohiba crystals, I think. But legitimate glass tube. When I saw the presentation on that, because my education is more marketing background, so I liked that. It stood out to me. It's almost like at the time it reminded me of making a model boat in a glass bottle type of a deal. Like you have this piece of art inside this glass encapsulation.
Right.
So that was it. Ironically enough, where I started smoking more and more cigars was after we started Veritas. And so if I was to give a before and after question, I forget which one it was. Somebody handed me an Illusion and changed my world.
Yeah.
I never thought I would go up. I mean, I would traditionally smoke natural Connecticut shades up until that point.
Yeah.
It got me into Habano. And then I followed Illusion, not for any other reason than I just really appreciated what he was doing.
Yeah.
The blends, you could tell that there was passion in that. So before it was a Cohiba Cristal simply from like a packaging standpoint, and I liked the way it looked. Afterwards, Illusion's been my go-to. Like, we're opening our cigar bar here in Waikiki, and we're going to carry the full line of Illusion just out of respect for what they've done.
Yeah, that's great. Lars, Lenny said thanks for the nickel tour. Loves the artwork.
Oh, thank you.
What shirt are you wearing, Lars?
I got that feeling. I am most ill at rhyming and stealing.
Lars Tetens B-ball team.
Fucked up gear.
That's great, man. I gotta get me one of them.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I have some crazy ass shirts.
Yeah, I want the ones that I can wear in public and not get rocks thrown at me.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, I did want to. I did make the announcement on Shirtless Mike's show the other night. The Herf Zone, who is literally such a nice guy. But Stogie Road cigars will now be available in the UK.
Oh, that's
sweet.
Yeah, we worked out a deal with a distributor. Really looking forward to it. I'll be able to give more specifics later. But I want to thank, first of all, Dez, the Cigar Cabin, connected me with some folks, and really just really happy about this move to be in the UK. It's taking our brand outside the U.S. and doing it the right way. Getting with the right partner, and fantastic people. So I'm looking forward to it. And hopefully, Chris.
Yes, sir.
I did reach out to to Dave in Pittsburgh and send him some cigars. So hopefully we'll be out there soon.
He was asking the same thing.
What's that?
Oh, if you would, if you'd talk about his cigars.
What?
If you would talk about his cigars.
Yeah, no, I told him I'm gonna have him on the show. I messaged him today. I never heard back from him.
I love Dave.
Yeah,
but,
I called.
Sometimes he's a little slow to get back to you.
Yeah, we sent out some samples, some cigars to him. I told him, man, we'll have him on the show. I'll carry his stuff online. Look, I'd love to be out in Pittsburgh area too. Some old stomping grounds out there. Some old stomping ground in the Berg.
I love Pittsburgh. I hated saying this. I was stuck in Nicaragua for 11 months, and I just kept telling everybody, God damn, I miss the snow. And everyone's like, are you crazy? It's like, you don't get it. I mean, I grew up in the Northeast, so for me, snow was...
It's freaking, I'm over it.
If you don't have it, no, you don't. Are you over it because you had to shovel it, or are you over it because you actually were over it?
Listen, I freaking, I'm not a skier. I'm not a snowboarder. I'm not, none of that shit.
Hey, Des, how are you, baby?
I freaking moved down south. We get snow that can be removed with a broom. I don't have to shovel. I don't have to snow blow. I could give a rat's ass if it ever snows again. I'm over it. I do not
somehow removing snow was in your reason for its hatred.
Well, I you know what? I love driving in it. I love driving in it, especially when I have my Jeep. I love driving in it. But man, the cold, the wet, the freezing, it's all overrated. All overrated.
That's like Twilight.
I'm done. It's like Twilight. It's freaking
Cold, wet.
just cold, wet, and shiny. It sparkles.
Shiny. Sparkly.
So, Des, your shipment's on the way. Lenny, it's white gold for you. I'm sorry, bro. I moved down south. It's less taxes, less snow. I'm a happy boy. Des wants to know how is it working with Kerr? And make sure this answer is way better than the Candela answer.
I don't know, man. I have no. Don't mean to sound ignorant, but
he's a Des. I can answer that question for Chris.
I could. Yeah,
he's
honestly,
I can answer it for him.
He knows what he wants.
I'll say.
Good answer.
And it makes our job easier if we're blending for somebody that doesn't have, like, some people. Oh, I just want full body. And, well, what does that mean? Full body what? You want full body in the Connecticut? You want full body in Urbana? You want full body in Maduro? So Kerry had, and what was unique is he had the baseline set up from where he was previously, but he knew where he wanted to be. So for me, I like where... because it's always somebody else's brand. So like I told Kerry, and I know he said this before, but one thing that, I look at is it shouldn't be my decision. He knew what he wanted, and he knew where he wanted to take it. He was open to suggestion. He wasn't closed-minded. We didn't always use his suggestion. We didn't always use mine. But he knew that the process would take time. So, I mean, it's easy to work with him. Now, granted, he's closed-minded on some things, but he's open-minded to some other things. So, all in all,
wow, that was
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. I'll take an 8 out of 10.
Hey, 8's my favorite number.
You know what? You
David
literally
has a true statement there.
Yeah. Well, there's the 3 Muska weirdos. David, you know what? If you're here, it'd be 4 of us.
True story.
It's funny is you gave me yes, thank you, Frank. He was trying to get him up in Chi-Town. You give me a higher rating than I would give myself.
I think we're all kind of self-deprecating. I mean, I think everybody else's opinion is generally higher.
Unless you're humble.
Unless you're humble.
And that is something you need to announce. Lars?
All in all,
that's
though,
my
I would
job.
say I'm happy to work with Kerr. And
no, I am.
I'm the most humble.
No, I am. I am, Lars.
I'm the mostest, humblest.
That's not even a word. You can't be humble when you mispronunciate things. Go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry. We digress. We're being children.
No, it's okay.
I know what you are. What am I?
It's pretty late for you guys in general, not just because you're 6 hours ahead. Real quick, could you email me the link? My phone is actually about to die, and I need to use headphones where I'm at.
Yeah. I'll email you the link.
But Kerry was amazing because he knew what he wanted. He knew where he wanted to be. He had a vision. For us, it was just filling in gaps, like how to get to execution of that vision. Ron was no different. Pushkavitz, Dave, he was no different. Dave knew where he wanted to be. He knew what he wanted out of his blends. He was open to some suggestion, and in certain places. I mean, I think the ability for a good brand owner that isn't controlling the process 100% for themselves is not just knowing what they want, but knowing how to ask for what they want.
Right.
Some people tend to be a little bit more passive, and then you don't know if the reticence is actually them being kind of complacent with what you may or may not be suggesting. And that's where I find myself most uncomfortable, is if I feel that it's more me than you, because you're paying us to make it. It's your brand. You're
Right.
responsible for it. I mean, if you ask me a question, I'll answer you honestly. But outside of that, it's you. You got to be happy with it.
But
and
that's
you knew
the
how
key.
to get what you want.
But that's the key, and that's one of the things why I liked working with you, is because Tabacalera Nueva Nica is the factory that produces this cigar, that cigar, this cigar, and it is their brand owners' cigars and their vision. So you are providing a fantastic service. You're not, you're not freaking producing 7 brands, that are kind of sub brands of yours. It's not like that at all. And that was the one thing I appreciated when you and I talked about this. And I learned a lot from working with the other factory. I learned a lot of great things. I learned a lot of things what not to do. I learned a lot of what I like and what I want, and I learned a lot of what I will not accept. And I think that's life, right? I mean, relationships, friendships, work, whatever the case is, you learn these things. And I've been able to also have, really solid, consistent friends who have always been able to provide me with honest feedback, and I learned a lot. Just over the period of time I've known Lars, I've learned so much from him. Not only about cigars, but also about business and loyalty and friendship. I learned a great deal from guys like Jeffrey Amendola, who is 100% taught me a great deal about tobacco and blending, and made recommendations that upped my game and my knowledge of ordering tobacco online and smoking it and trying it out and seeing how they blend together. Guys like my buddy Duncan, who has always been a great resource. So there's so many different people, Kevin, Daryl, so many great friends along the way. And if I'm missing anybody, I apologize. That really helped and supported me, not only with when I was producing cigars with the other factory, but even that transition of leaving the factory and finding a new factory. And just how you and I connected, Chris. I mean, gosh, it was through a mutual friend.
Seriously, yeah, Mr. Genovese.
And it was just something that that was a conversation where I had been talking to a couple of different factories, and he contacted me and said, "Hey, you might want to give this guy a call," and I knew you, I knew your cigars, and when we talked, we just hit it off. And I love the fact that you were available, you were always there, you were always on top of things, you listened, there were times when I felt you pushed me when I needed to be pushed. And I appreciated that. There was times where I might have been a little bit stalled and reluctant because I was a little, once bitten, twice shy, a little gun shy, a little freaking, burned previously. You kind of pushed me through some of those reluctancies that I was going through. And when we came up with the blends, said, "Hey, what's your old blend? What do you want? And then I'm going to give you my rendition of it. Then you pick which one you like." And I can tell you, not one of the blends is from your interpretation of the old blend.
Yeah, you're touching on some key points there. And
of course I am, because I'm smart.
Well, yeah. Also, you wear sunglasses at night. I mean, so does Jack Nicholson. So go figure.
Listen, Kevin Shahan's got a question, and boy, I will talk like Jack. What's Chris's thoughts of UPS losing 6 pallets of Dumbarton cigars valued at $300,000?
I've never used.
Have you ever lost a shipment that big before?
I've never. I don't know if Saka's talking about out of Nicaragua into the United States, or it's landed in the U.S. and now it's on the way to New Hampshire, which is where I believe his fulfillment center is. My thoughts are insurance, but more so than the insurance for the lost money, it's the lost time, and there's no insurance for that. If UPS lost that much for me, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. It would, and forget like insuring the actual shipment itself to get your money back. Think about time. I'm more concerned, is it being delivered to a customer on time? A customer that has expectations, because you can't quantify that in the sense of dollars.
I'm done with the faded.
Well, try another one. You have enough. I've never lost any shipments.
Kevin was puffing on what? On my vintage sticks?
Devin was on to puffing on your vintage sticks. He said, "How the hell do you get this effervescence quality up to the smoke?"
Oh,
he will not give out his secret, Devin.
I'm not a gynecologist, but
no matter how you ask him, even using the word effervescence, you will not get the answer to that question.
Sounds like a Lars word.
Frank, we will have some Morgan Freeman a little bit later, and that's usually when Daryl will jump off because he hates my Morgan Freeman. He says like flavored sparkling water, the best of ways.
I love that.
He said it never landed in the U.S. It was supposed to be sent to Greece, but never showed up.
Logistics companies. We were sending a shipment to Japan, and it was DHL. Never again with DHL. It went from Managua, from Esteli on the truck to Managua, it flew down to Panama, then up to Costa Rica, then into Miami, then over to Columbus. I don't understand the rhyme nor reason why any logistics is basically meaning shipping.
DHL is bad with that.
Well, DHL is horrible with it. And when Joe actually clarified it for me, was that Columbus, Ohio is the customs clearance office for DHL, but it was going to Japan. It never had to come into the United States, but it should have just gone through Bonds and then hopped on a plane over. I've seen some UPS stuff, like especially when we ship stuff out here. So if I'm shipping a shipment to Hawaii, it's coming out of Miami, it's coming out of Pittsburgh. It goes, before it goes over here. I don't understand it. I have friends that work in the logistics aspect of UPS, and it's basically the answer I'm given is it's most cost effective for them to do it that way. I don't get it, because if I'm just calculating the miles and the fuel it would take to ship this shipment here, I'd lose my damn mind. I'd be on the phone with UPS. I'd fly to their corporate office, say, find my for $300,000. I'd be wherever UPS is headquartered in, at the front desk asking to speak to somebody. But that's just that would panic me.
I would like to log a complaint.
We've been blessed. We've never lost a shipment yet. All right. But give us time. It'll probably happen.
Don't say that, man. Don't.
It's the law of averages. Okay, it's going to happen. Maybe by saying it's not going to happen, it might happen. Right. I don't know.
He's right.
Like, Kerr, we got good news and bad news. Good news: the Lanceros and the other shipment, man, they look great. The bad news is
they lost it all.
They're somewhere in Costa Rica. Daryl, I just did a little bit. Just relax. Come on. This is like a 2-hour show. If you can't, it's like 30 seconds.
I can't see him. I don't know if it really was that.
30 seconds of he was making.
No, I can't see Morgan.
Morgan?
Yeah. Where's Morgan?
I don't. He's God. Here's where Daryl's gonna throw a protest. I would like to say, Stogie Road cigars, fantastic. See, it's that simple.
I love it.
You got your first celebrity endorsement. You couldn't get a better actor.
Listen, if you're going to get an endorsement,
are you kidding me?
Freaking Morgan Freeman.
I'd like him to narrate my day-to-day life when he gets up out of the bedroom, brushes his teeth, and takes a shit.
I would like him to narrate in the bedroom. That would be awesome.
Lars Tetens in the bedroom. He's very horny. He's fallen asleep. Apparently, he's had too much bacon.
That was good. Oh, shit.
Nothing better than a nice bacon coma.
Oh, man. Daryl's trying to reroute his complaint through Lars now. Lars, I thought we was bros.
I love you, Daryl. You know that.
But that would be great.
I hope that answered Kevin's question, though. It's like, it would be a frantic time for anybody, and I'm sure Steve is not a happy camper right now, and he has every right not to be. So
I saw people kind of like cracked a couple jokes here and there, like, oh, why? I was like, man, if you crack a joke on a $300 fucking order that was lost, I'd lose my mind, let alone $300,000.
Oh, shit, yeah. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me personally. I mean, even airlines. I flew here, and I wasn't nonstop, but I had, yeah, I wish. But they lost my golf clubs. You had 2 planes you had to put the fucking bag on. That's it. 2 planes. That was from Miami to wherever the hell I went, and then from wherever that was to, it was L.A. Miami to L.A., L.A. to Honolulu. How can you lose a bag when it goes one place, take it off this plane, put it on this plane? And the gates were right next to one another. It was like 3 gates down.
I had 1.
I saw them taking it off the plane. But I still don't have my golf clubs.
I literally had a bag. I flew from Pittsburgh to Logan International in Boston.
JetBlue?
I can't remember what it was. This was years ago. Here's my bag. My buddy and I flew together, put our bags next to each other, and it was like shortly after 9/11, so they were really doing the whole extra checking.
Right.
Put my bag next to his. Flew to Boston, landed. He gets his bag, mine's gone. So I go to the guy, I'm like, hey, this doesn't seem right. You know, that Boston accent is like, yeah, pal, it'll be on the next flight. We'll call you. I never get a phone call. I got that bag back about a month later. They found it at the main hub in Charlotte. I got a phone call. Hey, we have a bag here. It's been down here for like a month. I'm like, how do you lose a bag from effing Pittsburgh to Boston?
It's a nonstop flight.
It's a nonstop flight.
See, Lars, that's where it benefits owning your own plane. You can actually bring your bag onto the planes. You know, it's right behind your seat.
The way I travel, I put all the things that I hardly ever check a bag ever. I only have one backpack. I have everything that I can put under my seat or put above my head, and that's it. I don't ever bring stuff that I'm going to ever check. I just don't.
My parents and I, for one of their anniversaries, I
I'm really
took them
good
on.
at traveling. I've traveled a lot, so I never bring.
I don't check bags anymore. It's all carry on.
Of course.
Why would you? Carry on, and that's it. Just one. That's it.
Drives my mother nuts, but when we travel together, like, where's your suitcase? I'm like, it drives her nuts because my parents grew up the way that they grew up. They grew up poor, and you know, everything that they have, they made for themselves. So I'm like, she's like, why don't you bring toothpaste? Like, I can just buy toothpaste wherever I'm going. It's like, it's $5. I'm like, so what?
But I don't bring underwear.
$5.
T-shirts. I go over and just pick up a pack of underwear, pick up a pack of T-shirts. That's it.
Exactly.
I never carry them.
No, that's the one thing I carry a lot of.
I don't even bring jeans or shorts. I just have whatever clothes I'm wearing. That's the only thing I bring. And then I stop someplace and just pick up another pair of jeans that I wear
Clary?
like fucking 5 or 6 days. I don't give a shit.
Seriously, go to Marshall.
Pair of shorts,
pick up a pair of pants that fits, and you're good to go. I get it. It's like, if it don't fit in my backpack, I don't need it.
I'm not wearing.
I look at it this way: if it's something that I need, I can buy it. I do not leave with the intent of I'm going to buy, except for sometimes like, if hotel's going to have complimentary everything, right?
Depending on the hotel these days.
Yeah,
Well,
but
yeah,
I
most
gotta
of
have a
them.
special shampoo.
No shampoo. Okay, I got it.
That's the turtle wax version.
Turtle
We,
wax.
I like.
I don't
you
think
know what
that's a
I'm saying?
liquid. You could get that on the plane pretty easily, even on your check.
but you know what I'm
check-in or your
saying?
carry-on.
Like it's like fucking. You can land, go to your hotel and get, your toothpaste, your razor, everything at the hotel.
Yeah.
I take the essentials, and Jennifer packs my bag. Jennifer literally she could fit like 5 days of wardrobe into a carry-on.
Wow, that's awesome.
And it's like it's big enough for it'll pass, but then it's like sometimes you'll have to check it at the gate. I'd rather check at the gate because I know I'm going to get it. I'm handing it to someone. They're putting on a plane, getting off. I know I'm going to get it. I've too much crap that is going on with actually checking luggage. And I thought, you know what? If I go somewhere and if I have to buy some stuff, I'll ship it. It's cheaper than paying the freaking money it costs to freaking get them. Jennifer was just in Vermont. And she went to Vermont, took her luggage up, everything else, bought a bunch of crap, and then shipped most of it through UPS because it would have cost more if your bag's overweight, and then came home.
I've done that, but for myself, it's not just the possibility that they're going to lose my stuff. It's the convenience factor. So, if you're in, let's say, a busy airport, Hartfeld in Atlanta, and your end destination is Atlanta, and let's just say you're not getting a car, you may be grabbing a cab or a ride in there. I can get out and not have to fight that hustle and bustle. And I'll tell my cousin, hey, just stop off at CVS, Walgreens, whatever. I'll pick up a toothbrush, some toothpaste, some shampoo, and some soap. Everything else I need. The other part of it is that the more that it seems that you get more flights, if you're not able to have a nonstop flight, there's no, all right, one layover. So if we're flying to the Philippines, it's like JFK to Taiwan, Taiwan to Japan, Japan to Manila. It's just too many variables for my bags to get lost or whatnot. But the other part of it is just get out, get through. Some airports it's grab your bag, then go to customs and immigration. Some airports it's customs, bag, then immigration, or vice versa. If I don't got to do that, I'm bypassing in an international airport thousands of people, and then I'm not sitting in line for 2 hours waiting to actually enter the country.
Right.
So that's just me.
I like direct flights, man.
If they're available, I'll take them.
I actually will drive from Greenville because we have Greenville Airport, but I'll drive to Charlotte an hour and a half away to get a direct flight because most of my flights connect to Charlotte. So by the time I get to the airport, check in my bags, do all my shit. Hopefully the flight's not delayed. And I hate flying to Charlotte. Charlotte Airport is a nightmare to fly into.
The layout is so weird. Your connecting flight is always on the opposite side of the airport, not just the terminal. Like I'll land in Terminal A and have to walk to Terminal E.
Yeah. No, I like flying out of Charlotte because it is very simple. You walk in, there's the big hub. I go to a bar. Actually, I'll walk down to my gate, find out how far it is to the closest bar, hang out, drink, and then go fly. Real simple. But flying into Charlotte, I've always had bad turbulence flying into Charlotte. And then when you land, I feel like when I'm taxiing, I feel like we're taxiing back to Greenville because it takes forever. It's like, oh, we've landed. It's like, great, we're taxiing. 30 minutes later, all right.
I found that with
we going down to Rock
Dallas
Hill? What the hell?
Pittsburgh has
it's
an
much
abnormally
better.
long taxiing line as well, and Pittsburgh's not a big airport.
No, I loved flying out of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was the easiest.
Awesome.
I would drive into the short-term parking right on the deck, get off, get right there, boom, the door, walk right across the freaking walkway, And then there was always they had security, but then there was security off to the right, and you'd walk and you'd go, you go up the escalator, you walk down these different hallways, and boom, you're like in this subgroup where there's nobody there. You go through real quick, and I used to fly out of Pittsburgh on Sundays a lot. There is no deader freaking airport on the face of the planet than Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on a Sunday. And when I had flights delayed, it was like, okay, I can only eat so many wings at Quaker Steak and drink so many beers.
Quaker Steak and Lube.
And it was,
I love it.
And it was always like me and the same 4 people because we always flew out Sunday. And that was it, making our rounds from the different bars because there was nothing to do.
Well, it's so close to Robinson Town Center that it's a 20-minute drive. It's easy.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Between Quaker Steak, or they used to have a Buffalo Wild Wings there. Now they have Burgatory there. Have you been to Burgatory yet?
I have not been to Burgatory. I've been to Pittsburgh in a long time.
Next time you go, there's a Burgatory in Robinson, and there's a Burgatory downtown right next to Rocky's thing. Burn.
Yeah.
All right. Basically, I'm not saying that the meat is out of this world and whatnot. It's a burger, but it's very much a customize your own burger. I want this burger. It's like Angus or Wagyu.
Yeah.
I want this cheese, this, and this. But their milkshakes, oh, baby. And they're alcoholic milkshakes. So you can get like cookies and cream with rum. Delicious.
Yeah, I've never been there. I just did. There was a Quaker Steak in the airport. Then there was like
there's one in the airport. Not anymore.
There was when I was there. I think it was a Quaker Steak.
It wouldn't surprise me if there was.
It was either Quaker Steak or Wings or Wild Wings. I think it was a Quaker Steak, though. To be honest with you, if I'm not mistaken.
Wild Wings wouldn't have made any sense.
And then it was a wing place, and then there was like this little kind of island bar that was like a land shark or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. All I know is that there's 3 bars in a short little distance from each other, and Lars left.
We got to go to a game then, a Steelers game. Oh, come on, man. What we do is we actually load up over at Burgatory and then walk to the stadium.
Yeah, I've been to a couple Steelers games.
I like it. All right. People think I'm crazy for wanting to sit outside 16-degree Fahrenheit weather. But
It's
pay enough for the tickets, and I'll do. Come on, man.
It's the Steelers. It's the Steelers. One of the coolest things when I first moved there, when I first moved there, one of the guys who worked for me, had season tickets to the Pirates.
Okay.
Now, the Pittsburgh Pirates, Pittsburgh is a football town.
Hockey town too.
It's a football town. They
agree to disagree.
Yes, we could agree. They're a hockey town when they're winning.
I think they're a hockey town when they're losing. I mean, I've had tickets for all my life. So my family's had tickets all my life, and now but win or lose, man, the Pens are a big deal. Bigger deal, Steelers. I get that. Okay.
And then you have freaking the Pirates where
nobody gives a shit.
Where if you have tickets for a Tuesday night game, you can literally go and trade them in and get another night. That's how bad it is.
If you've got nosebleed tickets, you can trade them for box seats because they don't want the behind the plate to look so empty.
Yeah. So
I have scalped tickets to Pirates for below face value.
Yeah, the guy. Yeah, exactly. That's hilarious. So this guy I worked with was like, "Hey, it was the year they had the All-Star game in Pittsburgh, so season ticket holders get first dibs."
Yeah.
So I went to the home run derby with him, and it was when what's his face for the Phillies won? Jimmy Rollins. Is it Jimmy Rollins?
I think it was Jimmy Rollins.
I'll tell you what.
Don't care. It's Philly, but okay.
That was awesome, man. I mean, actually going to see the home run derby, they closed all downtown. You walk downtown. You got to walk around downtown.
Grab a soda and a hoagie.
Yeah. Go and eggs in that. But
can you speak Yinzer, Kerr?
A little bit.
A little bit of Yinzer? Okay.
A little bit. A little bit. You see, I'm from Lebanon, Pennsylvania, so Lebanon is kind of like the slower version of Yinzer. So
What
Same
is
thing.
that?
Pittsburgh.
Yinzer speak?
Yinzer. Yin's gone downtown and that.
Oh,
Chip chop, Isley chip chop hand and that
We're gonna go
and that.
We're gonna go and eat some
Odd.
eggs and that.
It's like
yeah.
this weird, like they always talk about Southern drawl.
Ugh.
Yinzer speak is if you're not from Pittsburgh and you're a group and you're around a whole bunch of sometimes they call it Pittsburghese, but we call it Yinzer. Yinzer speak is
you see Yinzer
weird.
Dad on YouTube is hilarious.
Pittsburgh Dag. Yeah,
Pittsburgh
Dag's
Dag,
hilarious.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
I'm Stillers. I'm Stillers.
Shane
Hun!
Harrison was playing
Hun!
with a Prius. He was trying to squat it.
He was trying to squat it. Hey, Hun. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm
Reminds me of my
out.
grandfather.
I'm out of here. But yeah,
If Ben throws another interception, I'm going down to Mercy.
it's bullshit.
I love Pittsburgh Dad.
That
hilarious.
Bill Carr, he needs to run the ball. He needs to run the ball. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh shit!
But Lebanon is kind of like that, but it's slower. Instead of saying, we say Ot, Haas, Don, but it's a little bit more drawn out and lazy.
Well, it's basically saying the same thing, but like you said, it's a drawn out version of the same.
It's like, in where I'm from, we say, get the cause. In Pittsburgh, it's get the cause. It's a little bit sharper, but it's still.
And they'll put like 3 words into 2 syllables. Like, we would say we're going to go out and stuff like that. They go and that or
oh shit,
and that or downtown, or it's not East Liberty, Liberty. Like, it doesn't make any, there's no rhyme nor reason to why they put. It's just easier to say for them.
And what's even funnier too, like, is where I'm from.
Shit.
Where I'm from, every sentence is ended with once.
Really?
Hey, let me see that once. Hey, come over here once. And if you have true Pennsylvania Dutch, they add an ST at the end. Give me that once.
Oh,
What are you, nuts? Come here once. Out in the light.
Oh my god!
I love Western PA. It's like the redneck version of urban lifestyle.
I'm telling you.
It's an amazing city. Okay, I'm not gonna.
I love Pittsburgh.
All jokes aside,
I love Pittsburgh. But I've spent a lot of time there, and I've never heard this.
You've never hung out with Pittsburgh people from Pittsburgh.
You're probably right.
You can literally, when I meet someone and I hear them start talking, I'm like, "You're Pittsburgh." It's like
Seriously.
Syracuse. It's like like talking to someone from upstate New York.
I don't know what that is. I honestly, I can't even tell you what the accent. I lived up there. That was where I spent tons of time.
Very nasally.
I couldn't even.
Syracuse. You gonna come up here to Syracuse, Kerr?
Actually,
all the same region.
There's a guy I was going to put on here. He's the maitre d' at like one of the top Thai restaurants in the world, and it's right in Syracuse, New York. He's gotten rated as restaurants in like the top 50 in the world, even in Thailand, and it's a Thai restaurant in Syracuse at the Armory. But the maitre d', he's really funny as fuck. I was going to have him on my show like a week ago. I'm going to have him on probably in the next couple of weeks.
That'd be great.
There's some really good Thai restaurants out here, though. I can score some Thai food for dinner. I think I'm going to do that. God, I want some Thai food. I've been stuck in Nicaragua so long, though, that I have no concept of what food's supposed to taste like. So.
That's funny.
Well, the best part about that, whoever goes up there, it's right at the Armory. And right next to it is one of the top 50 French restaurants in the world, and he owns both of them. This guy Max.
Really
nice.
Yeah, I would call up at like, they close at around 11:30. During the weekdays because it's like Syracuse, New York. Later maybe it'll be open till 1 or 2 on
Syracuse
on like Friday and Saturday, but the rest of the time. But I'll call up at like 12:30, 1 in the morning, and everybody would come in just so they could take care of me. And I'd be there so late that the maitre and the owner would leave and give me the keys to lock up.
Syracuse is the first. I was downtown Syracuse. I used to cover that area, and I went to a sushi place where they would put sushi on a conveyor belt. So the sushi chef would make the sushi, and then put it on a conveyor belt, and every plate had a different. Plates had a different color: yellow ring, red ring, blue ring.
And they indicate price, right?
It price. So as it came around, you can look at it and be like, okay, I want this. And you'd sit and eat it. You would just stack your plates up, and then they would just come around and boom, 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 boom. And that's
$5, $7, $8, $11.
Yeah, it was fantastic, man.
It's called Genki Sushi. And I'm not a fan of it personally, but it's a really cool concept. I really like it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I think it almost looked like a diner. Like it was
Yes.
when you walked in, this place was like a tube. Like it was just like this tube that you went into, and then they had that freaking sushi on a conveyor belt. It was pretty cool, man.
So,
Ron Brown's eating it.
It's not a made-to-order place, right? They just make certain things, and you just grab the plate off.
Yeah, you just grab it. There is some good Thai restaurants down here, believe it or not, in Greenville. We you're always gonna have that traditional lemongrass, blah 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 blah. But there are a couple of really good Thai restaurants around here in Greenville. We have it's Southern food, so it's a lot of it's up here in Greenville, man. You have to reach out to me, man. We'll connect. Jennifer doesn't like Thai food. I love Thai food.
But you like spice, right?
I like spice. I like coconut milk. I love the peanut sauce. I love the curry dishes. I love all that, man. Big fan.
I love that place. I love this French restaurant too. If you guys ever get up to Syracuse, you guys got to go there. It's pretty badass.
The Cuse.
No. It's awesome.
So,
I don't know if Kerr's going to make any trips up there because he hates snow.
I'll go to Syracuse. Actually, I listen.
Hey, if you're going to go up, you got to make sure I'm with you because
if you want fucking snow though, really well. Bro. If you want snow, Syracuse is ridiculous.
Chris was over here with one of his friends, and he was like moving to Syracuse, and I pull out this T-shirt that's like from the '90s of Styleens. Remember that place?
No.
Styleens?
Oh, Styleens. It was like a big club in. It was a very, very cool club.
No, I know Dinosaur Barbecue.
Pittsburgh. Oh yeah,
Dinosaur Barbecue up in Syracuse.
Yeah, there were some. The guy who started was a lawyer from Utica, New York.
Yeah, that's good stuff. But we, Syracuse, I was up there working, and it started snowing. And when you talk about lake effect snow, go to effing Syracuse.
Yeah, he's telling the truth. I'll tell you that.
I walked into a Wegmans, right?
That's the Wegmans that I go to all the time when I'm there, dude.
I think I was in there for like 30 minutes, and I came out there, was like 8 inches of snow. I'm like, holy shit, this accumulates fast. Like, it was that fast because it was just coming down. And, I had a cousin who lived up in Watertown, that's just north of Syracuse. And it's like, Syracuse got 12 inches, Watertown got 8 feet. It's like so many areas there. You could be 30 minutes away and you'll get another 8 inches of snow.
True.
It's crazy, man.
And if
my parents were living in Chicago, they told me about that lake effect. Horrible.
Yeah. And just like if in that area, like if you go from Utica to Barneveld, which is just like about 15, 20 minutes north, it's snow up there for like a month or two before it is down in Utica.
Chris,
just a few miles up, but it's all north.
I lived in Cranberry Township.
I know Cranberry, yeah.
Which is about 30 minutes north of Pittsburgh. 40 minutes, and it's probably about, a good hour and a half from Buffalo? I think.
Because it's shorter there than if you lived on the south side where you were like, I don't mean south side like south side. I mean south side. South side.
No, it was... We were literally right at the highway where I lived.
Yeah, exactly. Like
we would get
right there, or something like
we
that.
would get 76. We would get the tail end of the lake effect snow from Lake Erie.
Erie's the worst, man.
Pittsburgh would get like
a Pennsylvania guy.
Pittsburgh would get like maybe I don't know. They'd be like, hey, we got about 3 to 4 inches. we always got like 6 to 8 inches. We always just got the tail end of that freaking lake effect.
Yeah, it comes right off of Lake Erie, but then
That's
where
true.
it really hits is it hits Buffalo, or East Amherst area,
fuck.
because it would just go like that
Horrible. Buffalo.
and go that way.
Man.
My cousin used to live up there. He went to high school up there, and talk about a food town, like Anchor Bar, wings. Yeah, baby.
I spent a little bit of time in Buffalo.
I love
because I covered Buffalo, Syracuse, and I had a rep in Westchester, and then also what's the Jesus Christ, I can't believe I'm blanking on this. What's the other bigger city that's straight across? There's
Rochester?
Not Rochester, Albany.
Albany.
And the guy in Albany who worked for me is a really great guy. He played college hockey. And he used to have connections to get tickets, and he actually covered Albany all the way up into Vermont, which is an interesting
territory.
Yeah,
Very big territory.
Very big territory because it's all woods. I mean, it's all freaking beautiful. And he got tickets to the Montreal Canadiens Flyers games for us because I'm a Flyers fan. He's a Canadiens fan.
I didn't know you were a Flyers fan.
Yeah, huge. We broadleaf bullies.
I'm gonna have to spit in your next order of cigars.
That's okay. Make sure you spit on the ones that I sell to Daryl. Sorry, Daryl.
I wouldn't do that.
But we went into Montreal. Wow,
the Habs Arena. It's phenomenal.
I'd tell you what. This was probably 2007. Oh my God! I think Briere had just went to the Flyers. He played with the Habs forever today, so that was great. We went to a French restaurant right across the street from the arena.
By the way, in Montreal, not hard to find a French restaurant.
I get it. I realize that it's like saying I was in Nicaragua and went to a Nicaraguan place. I get it.
Exactly. They speak Spanish in the area I was visiting.
But
yeah,
but it was a high end, really beautiful. Freaking, they had spiral staircase to the upstairs. They had the big wine cellar that looked like a humidor. It was all glass. You look into it. This
with
place was
the brick and stone.
Yeah,
and all that stuff?
Yeah. Oh my God, this place was freaking beautiful.
Is that across the arena?
Yeah,
I've been there.
I cannot think of the name of the place, but we ate upstairs, and this guy I work with speaks French, so he ordered all of our meal and everything. We ate. We went to the arena. We had such a blast, and I got to tell you, Montreal is beautiful. And what's funny is when we got to the border, guy's like, where are you guys going? He's like, going to the Habs game. He goes, oh, yeah? Who are they playing? He goes, Habs fan. He goes, he's a Flyers fan. He goes, sir, I'm going to have to ask you to step out of the car. And then he started laughing. He goes, you guys have fun. Don't drink too much. Get out of here. Oh,
my cousin used to play juniors hockey, but he'd go to summer hockey camp in Toronto. So he was East Amherst. So what they auctioned off at one of those silent auction things was Sabres Canadians in Montreal. So my cousin couldn't go. So I flew up, and my uncle and I went. We ate at that restaurant. All right. And I remember.
I cannot think of the name. It was so freaking good. God.
I saw their version of Notre Dame Church. All hand-carved wood, absolutely gorgeous. The city's amazing. Going into the arena, I got into a fight with a Canadiens fan, and my uncle had to pull me off. I was maybe 22 at the time, but and I'm not a fan of either team, but I'm not a fan of the Canadiens. So, it's amazing.
Montreal's beautiful, very beautiful.
Going up onto the ridge, kind of like on Mount Washington in Pittsburgh. Same style of view.
Yeah,
you look down into the valley. It's gorgeous.
Because you're like driving, and it's just like a lot of nothingness, and then all of a sudden it's like boom, this big beautiful fucking city. I mean, it is just amazing.
You had the French speaker. Oddly enough, we didn't speak a lick of French, and it was almost like being in France again, where I'm trying to order off the menu in English, and they're like, that's an omelet with cheese. I'm like, yes, I know what fromage means.
Yes, the omelet with cheese with the hacker on it, you American pig.
It's like, you want ketchup? Of course you want ketchup. Here's your ketchup. Here's your Heinz 57. We didn't want ketchup. They just assumed that we did. So and here's the ketchup. They actually said, here's the ketchup for you Americans. I'm like,
No, what
fucking
mayonnaise, you
assholes.
prick.
That's
Lars, do you speak Spanish? Or do you speak French?
A little bit, not much. I mean, I used to speak a lot back when I was younger, and I lived in France for so long. But literally living in France was weird because everybody I worked with, because it was a modeling business, spoke English. So all day long, like I was speaking more French when I wasn't living in France and doing business with everybody in the fashion.
Where in France were you?
Paris. But I
Yeah.
had a place in the south of France too.
A couple friends and I went when we got kicked out of a restaurant, not for anything crude, but our friend was from Nebraska, and he loved to have ketchup on steak. And the maitre d' came over very politely, and at the request of the chef, we were asked to leave the premises.
Yeah,
That's
It
fun.
I can't
offended
blame
him
him.
so bad.
shit,
Look,
dude,
man,
I probably
it offended
would've
me, I'm
done
not gonna
that in
lie.
One of my restaurants, I
That's
would have
horrible.
definitely kicked him
Boy,
out.
you could have like a butter fried
Fuck
steak.
that.
Why would you put ketchup on it?
Ketchup.
But
I
you
would
know,
allow
that's what
ketchup in
Tommy
the
likes.
plate.
That's horrible.
We actually asked, like, can you just ask him to leave? Because we didn't ask for ketchup. No, you must all leave. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Or
Go to
what?
McDonald's.
McDonald's. Make it
But,
right.
yeah, so I don't know if you know Paris that well, but I lived,
Not that well, but
I lived on Avenue des Sacs, 61 61 Avenue des Sacs, right in front of the Eiffel Tower. And let's see how much I can actually tell about this. Okay, well, I'll talk more about it in the after party. But suffice to say, I had the floor of this building that was like one of the most expensive buildings in Paris. I didn't even pay for it, and I had the whole floor. It was crazy. One of
Paris
my-
is an
Obviously, there's
interesting
more to that story.
Oh yeah, you can put that in the after show.
everywhere around there. I mean, I don't mean to say it derogatorily, but I mean, when we went outside, I was like, it smells like piss everywhere that we were at. And it wasn't uncommon when we were at night, because we were night owls. You'd just see guys just pissing on random buildings. Like they're shit faced off of wine and whatever, but that's
I remember
that's
that.
normal.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Beautiful city, all this
Hey,
history,
listen,
smells like piss.
Dude, I still will piss right in the middle of the city publicly. I don't give a fuck. It was so funny. I was with my dentist's wife. We were in New York to take care of something for her son. And I'm in Brooklyn, and I was like, I had to take this. We just had a bunch of these fruit and vegetable smoothies, and I had to take a piss right there. And you know, in New York City, nobody's bathroom is open to the public. Unless you're sitting down in a restaurant, they don't open up to the public. So I just whipped up my dick and started pissing in the middle of the street because I thought it was funny. It's the middle of the day, and a city bus comes by. It was hilarious.
Another questionable cigar from Tabacalera Nueva Nica.
Jeez.
That's the Edition 35.
You want a road trip?
I'm going to need one. Lars,
Yes, baby. Yes.
what are you singing for us tonight?
Hennessy.
Hennessy. Hennessy. Hennessy. Oh, it's Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
Hennessy.
Hang on one
This
second.
is a cigar poker that Kevin Shahan made for me.
Oh, that is awesome.
Oh, you carved it?
He actually pressed my original boxes together, glued them, pressed them together, and then created this. And he's actually created a pen, and to this day I still use it. Is my wooden cigar prop that he made from the wood.
That's awesome. Dude.
Yeah,
I love
Kevin's a talented guy, man.
Yeah.
He really is.
He really is.
Yep, little poker. I don't even know her. First we're gonna dip, then we're gonna smash.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. No.
I'm sorry. When I start here, I always got to go into that song. That's Kevin's favorite song.
Ah, shit. Now I started playing the other one. Okay. Sorry about that, gang.
That's my bad, man.
No, it isn't. And see, Hennessy got me not knowing how to act. Girls fucks with me, you best bring a stack. Well, I don't mess with girls, you don't get money. If you wanna mess with me, you best bring the honey. Got 4 girls here, fucks me all together. Then go out and get me money, no matter the weather. Say, Hennessy got me not knowing how to act. Hennessy got me not knowing how to act. Hennessy got me not knowing how to act. Yeah, girls fucks with me, you best bring a stack. I got a cheerleader here, so she just wants more. Got a girlie from the math that wants to keep it offshore. Got 2 girls here named Hoover and Dyson. Girls bring me ice, I can't mistake. And now Hennessy got me not knowing how to act. Hennessy got me not knowing how to act. Hennessy got me not knowing how to act. Yeah, girls fucks with me, you best bring a stack. I put some Richard Hennessy all over my body. I let the girlies lick it up like it's a high tide. Girlies live in stacks for the head to the lobby. That's why I keep the shit hotter than wasabi. Hennessy got me not knowing how to act. Hennessy got me not knowing how to act. Hennessy got me not knowing how to act, yeah. Girls fuck to me, you best bring a stack, yeah.
Wow, that was a short one. Very good. Huzzah, huzzah. Very good, Lars.
Thank you, man.
Very good. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us this evening. I'd like to thank Chris, our very special guest, for joining us this evening. I smoked through the Faded, which is going to be officially announced soon, so I'm not going to really get deep into it, but a fantastic cigar, and of course the Edition 35 by Stogie Road Cigars, which was another fantastic cigar. So
Awesome.
thank you for joining us, Chris. It's always good seeing you, bro.
Always good to be here.
And
Love
Lars, my man, it's always a pleasure, brother.
I love you
It's always
guys.
a pleasure.
Love everybody out there.
Looking forward to chat with you soon, Chris, and getting the process of the Lanceros and a couple other Vitolas going under Stogie Road Cigars.
The Lanceros are delicious, sir. Absolutely
Yes,
delicious.
yes. So, from all of us here at Stogie Road Diaries, Chris from Tabacalera Nueva Nuca and Veritas Cigars, and Lars, the world champion of art in all things leather. This is Kerr Viajante. Thank you for another fun evening. Good night, and we'll see you next week.